Mara had worked in the hospital long enough to trust the small things that did not belong in charts. A hand that tightened when the body had already gone slack. A sudden calm in a frightened room. A patient who smiled at an empty corner and whispered, "There you are." She was not a believer in omens, only in patterns. The pattern began with Mr. Vale, an old watchmaker admitted for a failing heart. He was lucid for most of the evening, arranging his thoughts with the precision of the gears he had spent his life repairing. Near midnight, he opened his eyes, looked past Mara toward the window, and said, softly, "I hear it again." "Hear what, Mr. Vale?" "The chime," he said. "It is always the same." Then he relaxed, as if someone had answered him. He died before the monitor changed. 2 nights later, a young woman in the surgical ward sat upright after an otherwise normal recovery and asked for her son. She had no children. She listened for several seconds, her face bright with recognition, and then the color left her. When Mara checked the corridor, no one was there. By the end of the week, Mara started noticing the same expression in patients at the edge of death. Not fear, not confusion, relief sometimes, or anticipation. Each one seemed to hear something just beyond the room, just beyond the reach of the living. She should have dismissed it. Exhaustion could create patterns, and grief could sharpen them until they felt like facts. But the sound troubled her because it was never the same for staff who were present. No one else heard it, only the dying. Then her father was admitted. He had been a practical man all his life, a mechanic who treated mystery as a kind of poor maintenance. When Mara found him in the bed, weaker than she had expected, he managed a grin and said, "You look like you have not slept in years." "I have not," she said. "Good," he replied. "Means you are keeping busy." She held his hand through the night. Toward dawn, his eyes moved to the door. His breathing changed. Mara felt the old, helpless dread rise in her chest. "Do you hear something, Dad?" she asked. He was quiet for a long time. Then he nodded. "What is it?" she said. His thumb pressed once against her palm, the way he used to tap a wrench against a fender when he was thinking. He smiled, and the smile held more tenderness than she had seen in years. "It sounds like every door I ever meant to open," he said. Mara wanted to ask more, to demand a name for it, a reason, a system she could record and survive by. But his gaze had already gone somewhere she could not follow. The room felt suddenly very still. The monitor failed a moment later. When the nurse entered and called the time, Mara realized she was crying before she had noticed the sound. Afterward, she stood alone in the hallway and listened to the hospital breathing around her, carts rolling, distant alarms, a woman laughing too loudly at the desk. Life made its noise without mercy. Yet under it all, she thought she could almost hear something else, faint and patient, waiting at the far edge of hearing. She never learned whether it was truth, memory, or the mind trying to soften the final threshold. But from that night on, whenever a patient looked past her with sudden peace, Mara did not call for more machines or more tests. She held their hand and stayed quiet, as if listening too.